start recording. All right. And then I'm also going to go ahead and start sharing my screen, everyone. Is everyone able to see?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. We are glad to have you here this evening. And I'm Amy Uzelman, the library director for Round Rock ISD. And I'll be hosting along with Diane Hart, who is our library services systems coordinator. So thank you for joining us. And Diane, if we have new folks popping in, feel free to just welcome them and let them in. We'll go ahead and post this. And I'm going to do that right now, I believe, in our chat, just so you have it, everyone. Because Diane, I don't think you can grab it since I'm sharing. I'm going to put this in our chat just so everyone has it. And then if we need to repost it, you can do that along the way. All right. Thanks for your patience, everyone. So we really just wanted to today go over how to access things, where to access them, and what's out there. One thing that's really important to note, our students will be able to access some of our research resources and class links, but it's very important to know how to get to the research resource page from your library webpage. And so we'll look at that. But here is what, from your library page, you'll see a research resource page. And so every campus has their own little research resource page. When a student is on campus, they can click into any of these databases without any usernames or passwords. If they're at home, they need to be in their Gmail. And then this little golden lock right here, if they click on it, that will send them a copy of all the usernames and passwords needed to log in from outside the district. And all of our resources are paid resources, and so we can't have them on we can't have them publicly displayed, and that's why we have that little lock and key for students to be able to access them, which can sometimes be confusing and a little tricky for our kiddos. So that's really important to note. So today we just want to explore some of our resources, want to make sure that our parents and students know where to find specifically some of the online reading resources. And then we're going to highlight some of our college and career resources and their features specifically. We'll get into really in depth into our Learning Express, which has a lot of college and career items. This is useful if you go to the link in this presentation. There's a resource that comes from the state of Texas. We have a bundle of our research resources that are bundled together that we purchased from the state for a very reasonable price. I think it's a little over $2 a student. And so this is a neat little resource that you can go to, and it has a breakdown that's really helpful for parents, and it goes elementary, middle, and high school. So it kind of lets you know, well, if I go to Britannica school, that's just a general resource that has encyclopedia articles, magazines, images, videos. It tells you some of the features it has. So that's kind of this is a helpful little resource to break down exactly what we have at our disposal and then how you may use that. So again, there's a link in the presentation to go to that resource guide. And then again, our campus research resource pages are important. So when you go to your campus page, if you go to Gaddis Elementary, up in the right-hand corner, it'll say library. When you click on that library page, this is what you'll see. It'll go to you'll be able to choose research resources. And again, that's where all the databases are that students can click into, and they can also go and get the username and passwords. And if it's a dual language campus, those will be available in English and in Spanish. All right, again, here's another link of what that might look like for just handy for you, our overall elementary and secondary usernames and passwords, and an example that's in Spanish, but you'll be able to get your specific username and passwords from your campus library research resource page. And those will be the most updated and helpful. And of course, at any time at all, always reach out to your librarian if you have questions or need help. Okay, let's start with Mac and Via. Mac and Via is our ebook platform. So really 24/7, our students have access to log into ebooks, and they'll see, they can go to Mac and Via, the app on the research resource page, or you can go to macandvia.com and it'll take them to a login page. They'll have to choose their campus. They can start typing in their campus. The username and password is the 6-digit student ID, no S at the beginning, and that will take them to all of the ebooks. They'll be able to use audiobooks and even other resources and databases that they can log into the research resources from Mac and Via. So that's pretty awesome. So once they're logged in there, they also have access to most of the databases are integrated right into our Mac and Via. If they wanted to check out an ebook, they're simply they can preview it, and they have a little backpack, and they can actually go ahead and check it right out to themselves. Okay. So I can go into my backpack and see what I have checked out at this time. And you'll see I've got an audiobook and an ebook that I'm working on. So that's Mac and Via. Again, if you have any trouble at all, if perhaps there's a new student and they don't have an account set up, contact your campus librarian. You can get them added in about 30 seconds, and it's going to be the student. They'll choose their school name. Their login will be their student ID, no S, username and password. This works on all devices, laptops, tablets, phones. It automatically checks in the books when it's after they've had them checked out for 2 to 3 weeks. And they're also the audiobooks and ebooks are downloadable to a smart device. So if the student is on Wi-Fi, they can download, but they can still access their books even when they don't have internet access after it's downloaded onto their device. Okay. Any questions about that? Right. Just for our younger students, we have PebbleGo, Tumblebooks, and BookFlix. These are also resources that students can use for reading, and it will bring them right into PebbleGo. I added this. It could be a research resource, but it also has some great opportunities for them to read about different topics. And if a campus is a dual language campus, they'll have those in Spanish and in English. Tumblebooks has ebooks that are accessible for kiddos. When they click on the book, they can read the book themselves. They can listen to the book. Again, a great resource for practicing some reading. And finally, there's BookFlix. And BookFlix has some Spanish titles. And they have, paired books. So there'll be a book in a nonfiction and a fiction book on the same topic. And you can see one featured dinosaur bones. So there's a fiction book about dinosaurs, and then there's a nonfiction about digging for dinosaur bones. Questions? Again, those are free. If they're on campus, they can just click on them and open them. And from home, they may have to, if they're accessing them through ClassLink, they may need that username and password the first time they log in. So it's good to have that little password sheet handy. Okay, our middle school and high school have Teen Book Cloud, and that's just same thing. It looks a lot like Tumblebooks, but they are middle school and high school books that are online, and these are multi-user, so all of our students can access those simultaneously. And then one more, this is really more of a teaching tool, but there are some online ebooks from one of our vendors, Rosen, and when our students go and access them, they'll see like a little bookshelf, and there are some topics. Some of these are more high school with ancient civilizations, but you can also see there's a great collection like Spotlight on coding that our students might be interested in. So a little more educational. When I click on a book, it loads. I can just open and see the book full screen. Or the neat part is when I go down to the start screen, I've got all kinds of added vocabulary, activities, timelines that I can access, and they'll read it online just like they would a book. And if I don't want to see all of the extras, I can choose just to see the book and not, I can just view this in full screen, book only. So that is our Rosen. So again, another opportunity for our kiddos to practice some reading online and access online books 24/7. Okay, something new we've had in the last few years is something called Learn 360. And these are a lot of little video clips, but it's so much more. So there's STEM lessons. Let's say they're doing a presentation and they may need images. There's maps and flags. There's even little games and activities, things that they can print. So you can see little featured videos that might be good, different levels. Here's some of the STEM lessons that are available for some enrichment, different printables that are out there, some audio features too, not just video. And I was talking about featured maps and flags that you can see they can access. So it's searchable, but there's over almost 200,000 different searchable resources here. And what's really neat, a lot of the videos have clips. So if a student wanted to just watch a certain part of it, there's also transcripts that go with it. Or if they wanted to add a segment to maybe a presentation that they had to create, this would be a choice for them. They can share it to their Google Classroom. They could email it to themselves. They can download it. And if they're using it in a presentation, all they have to do is say, cite the video, and they can choose which style to save it in and just actually send it straight to their Noodle tools, which they have, or they can just copy it and paste it into a document so that they've got all their sources cited. So not only just for our teachers, but a really neat little tool for our students, and it has some extra enrichment pieces available. We're going to talk in a few minutes about what Learn 360 has to offer for college and career. All right, now thinking about research projects that your student may have. You don't want to just go out and Google everything. First of all, we may get into sources that are not reliable, sites we don't want our students in, and it can be extremely overwhelming. Instead, we've got all of these great resources that we can bring them straight to. And when they're in them, I'll show you how they can download information, email it to themselves, download it to their Google folders. They can cite their sources, and there's more. I'll show you how they can get magazine articles, websites, videos, images. Let's take a look at our Gale resources. So Gale is one of our vendors, but it has a lot of little specific databases. So you'll see Gale ebooks, biographies, general information, health and wellness. So especially for our secondary kiddos, this is an amazing resource for their research. But then for our elementary, middle school, and high school, it also has the Gale in context, which would be geared more for them. So if I went to elementary, it's obviously going to have more of an elementary interface with topics, pictures, videos. They can even get links when they find them. And then let's go to more of a middle school view and compare. So now I've got a middle school view. I've got topics of interest. Let's say I go into cultures and I have to do some research. I'm going to go ahead and research Day of the Dead since that's around the corner. Now, if a student wanted to share this information, what's really awesome is they've got some features here. They can download the article. They can send it straight to their Google Drive. So if students are out browsing and they're seeing different things that they might be interested in saving, they can put it in one place rather than opening an article and kind of going down a rabbit hole, seeing different things and then not remembering what it is that they found. They can email it to themselves, or they could even print it. And if they wanted to save a link to something, they could just go ahead and they'll get that link. And that would be a permanent link that they could put into a presentation or email themselves. And again, If they end up using that link for their research, they can go right here and they've got the citation. They can select the format that they need, if it's MLA, APA, Chicago style, and just send it straight again to their Google Drive, have a document started where it can save it. We have Noodle Tools, which is a bibliography tool that students can send it straight to and save it right there, then and there while they're researching. So Gale has just really a plethora of different resources, opposing viewpoints for our secondary and high school students, where it will show hundreds of different social issues and 2 viewpoints that students can research. We've got science, US history, world history, a literature resource, Lit Finder. So truly, truly just so much information at their fingertips. And for our younger students, National Geographic Kids is excellent. And it really has a lot of, this is also a great source just for reading articles and books that are available, ebooks and magazines, National Geographic magazines. Okay, I'm going to pause a little. Are there any questions? Okay, let's take a look at Britannica School. You're going to love the feature, the translation feature that's available here. I'm going to, just in case somebody had a question. Okay, so in Britannica School, students can go in and they can go in as elementary, middle, or high school. So let's start with elementary. And you can see that the interface is truly very elementary looking. And let's see if I try Galileo. Now, I can look and I can see that this article, I'm right now in reading level 1, but I can go to reading level 2. And if I do that, it's going to be just more of a middle school interface. And obviously, definitely much, the difficulty level just went up. And then if I went to high school to the reading level 3, it's going to be even more difficult. This is a feature that's really awesome because I got my article, I've got images and videos I can click on related to the topic, and then even other related information and websites that might be available. Sometimes there's like best websites that would be a great place for students to get additional information. If I'm in the article, I can actually translate the article by just hovering right over here over the little globe, and I can translate this page into multiple languages. So let's just see what that looks like in Arabic. And now it's translated in Arabic. I can go back over to my translation. I could change it to another language, or I can show the original. That is a feature that truly is amazing with our students with so many languages in our district. And then another thing you can do is you can send this. If I'm the student and I want to save this, I found an article I like, I can email it to myself. It can go to Google Classroom, or I can save it directly in my Google Drive. That is a really helpful feature so our students don't lose some of the information that they're searching for and looking for. We have specifically, and let me go back into our home, let me go to the home page. When I'm in Britannica, up in the right-hand corner, it says Your Britannica Resources. So we have something called ImageQuest that the district also pays for. This has millions, literally millions of different images that our students can use for free because we've paid for it. So if they are doing a presentation and need images for their presentation, they can click on that image. You can see how they can credit the image and cite it. They can get more information about the image, anywhere from, just something, a book in clip art to a topic that they may be researching, architecture, animals, all kinds of things. And again, we've got the feature where they can share it to their Google Classroom. They can look at multiple images. It's really, they've got even project ideas. So if a student is working on a project and it kind of walks them through searching and how to use those images, and just has a lot of extra resources that can help them. And then I think when we were in that front page, it also said Escolar Online, and that is our Spanish version of Britannica. And you can see there's a primary and secondary version that they can click into. And if you'd like to see what that looks like just a little bit, it had, sorry, I don't think I gave it enough time to, oh, I can choose Spanish. And then I've got everything in Spanish. Okay. So just know that that is there. Also, Britannica Escolar provides information for all levels of Spanish-speaking learners. One more, our SIRS Researcher is another database that has, oops, sorry, y'all. A lot like Gale, when I click on here, I've got a couple of different choices. So if a student is doing research specifically on different cultures, this is very helpful. SIRS Discover just has lots of information, and especially for our younger students for researching. So you can kind of see what that looks like. I'm going to click over. And it's what I love about some of these is it helps students think about what are some topics you might be interested in looking at. Do you need to choose your own topic? What are some things you might want to think about? And then I wanted to show you a really amazing feature in SIRS Discover for our upper level high school students. So SIRS Issue Researcher is a database that has the two sides. So if I'm looking, let's go to virtual classrooms. So this has opposing viewpoints. So if I'm a student and I've got to write my paper with opposing viewpoints, I can decide which viewpoint I'd like to take. I've got an overlying question. And then what I love is it helps lead students through critical questions to guide that research that they're going to be doing on the topic, which is often a place where they have difficulty thinking about, okay, I've got my topic. Now, what are some critical questions I need to ask to get deeper into the research? And then once they click on those different topics, it's going to take them to the supporting articles with that viewpoint. And again, if they're using this in their research, they can cite the article right here. They can send it to their Noodle tools. They can copy and paste it. If they log in with their Google account, oops, that's Microsoft. If they log in with Google, then they can save in their own account. And again, they can email it, print it, send it to their Google Drive in the cloud. So really so easy to not only find, but then also curate and save all of the information that they're looking for. Okay. I got this a little out of order, but just know that Learn 360 with our videos, it has music, sound effects, games, even calendars with historical events, birthdays, and Common Sense Media is a known website for parents to find resources for students that are rated and best of type videos and resources, websites, things like that. So Learn 360 is also associated with Common Sense Media. Let's take a look at another option for reading online. We have Ebsco Ebooks, and you can see when a student goes into their Ebsco Ebooks, there are a lot of nonfiction choices like the Golden Gate Bridge or projects, science projects, different science topics that they can actually download the book and read it in a full PDF and get the ebook in our Ebsco Ebooks. And Ebsco is another overlying large database that has smaller databases. So they could see, like our secondary kiddos would go to Explora. They can again download articles, encyclopedia, magazine, videos, websites. Students and adults can set up journal alerts. So if there's a certain magazine that you don't subscribe to, but you'd like to get their different journal alerts, if it's in Ebsco, it will send you articles from that magazine. Okay, questions at this point? It's kind of an overlying overview of many of our research resources. And now I want to hone in on some featured databases that we have that really are great, have great resources for college and career. And 3 of them that we're going to look at a little closely. 2 we've talked about, Gale and Learn 360. And then we're going to look really in depth at something called our Ebsco Learning Express. Okay, let's go backwards. We're going to start with the Info Learn 360. And just, you may be thinking, now how can this help with career readiness? Well, if you go to videos, you can actually choose career development and technical education. There are over 1,600 different videos about career fields, job searches, things that could help our students with career development and technical education right there in Learn 360. And you can see, like here's a Q&A with a young lady who is a welder, and it just goes in, it talks about her professional advice, what it took. There's a whole series on different, you can see a gynecologist, a welder, an illustrator, about the educational background needed, different skills needed for their job, things like that. So this is an excellent tool for career exploration for students and teachers and parents. Okay, in Gale, Gale is the database that had a lot of smaller micro databases that you could go into. So things like academic on file, the Chilton Library, environmental studies, just health and wellness. This kind of helps them to go down to, and you can even see in the general file, they can go to careers and explore just more in-depth different topics and careers that they may be interested in. So it's a good place to start just reading about, learning about what's involved, what kinds of skills are needed, what education path do they need to think about and take when exploring their careers. And again, you can see magazine articles, journals, audio, video files. All of these can be, they can cite these, they can save them to their, there's translations available. They can save them to their Google Drive if they want to start curating different careers and topics that they're interested in. And you can see academic file again, just getting a little more in depth with articles and career-based information, and looking at, academic journals that are out there about different careers. And then our health and wellness, same thing. They can get in depth in different topics and all the different fields, really research what fields are available in the medical positions in health and wellness. And then again, what paths, how many years of education will they need after high school? What things do they need during high school that might be helpful? And Chilton Library has a lot of really unique things, like you can go and get repair manuals. They're the ASE test prep. So this has some very specific resources that students may need for different career choices. Again, like maybe they're doing a job and they would need to estimate what the labor what would be entailed in a construction project or a plumbing project, and it helps break down and look at some of the what would be needed. Our kiddos that are in our CTE for our automotive, that is a great resource. Again, they have vehicle maintenance, and you can actually type in specifically a year, make and model of a vehicle and research. So just a great possible resource, but then also things that can be used for their CTE classes and career readiness. Okay, our Ebsco Learning Express. I'm going to take a quick drink of water, excuse me. This is an amazing resource that has so many things things available for free. And mainly the test prep is really amazing in this resource. So Ebsco, it's called Ebsco Learning Express. One piece that's really important is that our students access Learning Express through the Round Rock ISD research page, because they will need to set up their own account. So when they log in, they'll see an icon that says Round Rock ISD, and then they have to go in to sign in and register. When they go in to register, all they'll have to do, they're in their student Gmail account, they can use their Gmail account to register and set up an account. And the reason that's important is because all of the test prep and tutorials, it will save everything. They'll have to have an account set up in order to use that. Excuse me. Okay, so they'll log in, they'll set up an account, and then they're going to see there's all kinds of prep for college, STAR, TSI prep, career exploration, just a plethora of things, job and career, how to write a resume. Again, even industry standard tests that they can utilize. So it may look like this when they go to STAR prep. So even some of our elementary kiddos, there'll be some STAR prep tests they can utilize. And then even like the military test career and test prep for high school grads will get them into things that will be a little more. Here you can see with this, like a 4th grade writing practice test. And what I love about all the SAT, ACT prep, STAR prep, is when a student goes in to take the test, they can choose the test mode. So if they want it to be a simulation and they want to actually take the practice as if they were taking the real test, they'll choose simulation. If they want to practice it so that they can answer something and see an explanation afterwards, they can go into practice mode, and they can even take it in learner mode, so that as they're going through, they'll view the answers to each question and use it almost as a study guide. So that is pretty awesome. And again, it will let them know, it'll simulate the actual test, the same number of questions and how long they might have to complete it. They can start the test, save it, come back to it, and get results. So all of the test prep is just really amazing. You can see here some of the different options that they have. College placement tests, ACT prep, SAT prep, AP tests that are available. And this is what I was referring to when I was talking about the certification test prep. So not only is there, college testing and STAR testing, TSI, but if they are, I know we have some of our students in our health sciences are actually getting some of their technician and assistant certifications. So you can see here that our students can actually prep for different certification tests, and so can our parents and community members also have access to this. You see the real estate sales agent license. So it might be interesting for our students that are exploring some of those career options to actually go in and, see what the real estate sales license test looks like and what kinds of information they would need to know. The medical technician, just even exploring. A lot of our kiddos get their CNA. So here's a test prep that they can use for that. I'm going to take a little pause. If anybody has a question. Okay. A lot of career exploration, thinking about learning about careers, the career test prep, again, like even the civil service test prep is there. Cosmetology, culinary arts, electrical, emergency medical services, plumbing, so many. And they can also learn more about the military and the prep tests and entrance tests if they're interested in military. What I love is the workplace skills and just some of the little modules that are available in Learning Express for just career prep. And again, things like resume building, how to, interviewing questions, things like that. And you can see here more test prep, what it might look like. There's a TSA placement test prep. You can get into the different science, social studies, math, what that looks like. And all of these, here's what I was talking about, some just different modules that are helpful, building a resume, building a letter of interest, interview follow-up sample letters, interview thank you sample letters, how to interview with confidence, just little modules that can be helpful for our students, but even helpful for our parents and community members. And then you'll see, because a student has created an account, there are ebooks they can download, and then it also tracks any ebooks that they might have, tutorials that they've taken, tests that they've taken, articles. There are flashcards to practice for some of the test prep. So just really so many things available to our students for free. It is free to them. Okay. Any questions at this point? I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go back out, see if there's anyone. There really is just so many resources that we haven't even tapped into and didn't get deeper into. But I think for just enrichment and just for our kiddos as they're at home having to do research and looking for something for fun, we've just got something for everyone.
Amy, hi, this is Jackie.
Yes.
Thank you for this. This is wonderful. My question has to do with science projects. So my godson is a 6th grader. And before this presentation, I would have probably just Googled like popular science projects, right? But now I'm seeing, oh, I have so many other options. So where would you start maybe if you wanted to help your child pick a science project?
I would, Jackie, I would start in Britannica or World Book. And we didn't even go into World Book, which is another one of our encyclopedias, but specifically, there'll even be sample science projects and videos, and also the Learn 360. They have little videos of science projects and resources. So I would kind of start at those broad and search science projects. They'll come up with ideas, and not only just, I think, science project ideas, but then related topics, steps, videos, images that he could probably use for his science project.
That's great.
Maggie?
He's in 6th grade at Cedar Valley.
Okay.
Gail has a science in context database that has a lot of information that is kind of on a mid-level for middle and high school that would help them. Most of the encyclopedias, if you search just science projects, you'll get a lot of information and ideas. And that's the hardest part sometimes, is getting started with the idea.
Yes, thank you so much.
You bet. Now, I know we're running ahead of time. We had until 7:15. I'm happy to answer more questions, or if there's something you'd like me to go back and look at. I really, really encourage you to grab that link to the presentation so you can go search, go to your student's school webpage, and let's just take a look at, I'm going to share one more time since we've got a little bit of time. I'm going to go out of our presentation.
And Amy, Margie asked if the teachers, the classroom teachers, are coached so that they can do these presentations for their students. And that's an excellent question, because our librarians work all the time with their teachers to show them the new things that are out there. And it makes a great partnership, because the teacher is coaching and the librarian can expand, and we can get a lot of information out there quickly.
Absolutely, good point. And teachers are aware, and sometimes, the problem is they don't always see them at the point of need. So it may be something that librarians share at the beginning of the year, and they often forget about everything that's out there and available. So definitely, I think our teachers can share, but don't ever hesitate to go to your campus librarian. So I wanted to show you from a web page perspective. If you're at a school website and you go up to the right-hand corner to library, it will take you to the library page. And they're all maybe set up a little differently, but you'll always see something that will bring you to the research resources. And that's the page we looked at that had, and I love how this is broken down. So students can search the library catalog, but here's that Mac and VIA link. If they're at home and they need username and passwords, that's there. But you can see here are some of the ebook choices we talked about and different reading resources that are out there. And something that I didn't mention that I really should have for our middle school, we just got over 90 teen mental health books. So these are topics for students that are on ebooks. They're available for our students. They don't have to go into the library to check them out because it may be something that they don't want to share that they're reading. So things about depression, anxiety, I have a friend who's suicidal, what do I do? So topics that just a place to go to get a start on some information for parents, for students that may not know where to start, mindfulness and meditation, things that all of our kiddos can use right now, effective communication, again, a lot on anxiety and stress. My parents are divorcing, now what? So just topics that may be very personal to them, that they may not feel comfortable going and checking out or asking about a book that's available, but they've got access to all of these books at any time that they can actually just launch from any device and read. And again, where can they find images and videos that are free for them to use, to watch, and to put into presentations that they're putting together? Here's like kind of our general knowledge encyclopedias. So Jackie, when we were talking about maybe starting with Britannica or World Book also has an excellent Spanish translation, very authentic Spanish translation. And so that is another reason we have a second encyclopedia, just for that fact. And a lot of pre-K information and things on World Book. And then again, we've got more general research, college and career prep. And then it kind of breaks it down, literature, science and health. So here's that science in context to dig a little deeper for some science projects. And for our younger kiddos, the National Geographic Kids, social issues, social studies with world and US history, and then just some additional resources that they have, like Tumble Books, Noodle Tools is that bibliography tool where they can keep like even virtual note cards if they're doing a research project. So it really brings them through the research process and helps them cite all of their sources. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing.
Hey, Amy, if I could just add something real quick.
Yes, Chris.
Don't forget to, digital's great, and obviously we have a lot, and that's what we're focusing on tonight. But I bet the library itself does have books with science experiments in it, and those can be picked up at curbside delivery.
Great point, Chris. Excellent point. And don't forget, so digitally check out if just an idea book, probably in Mackin. I know there are science project books, but then as Chris said, when you on that web page, on the resource page, the online catalog is there. And I know all of our libraries have curbside pickup. So even if our students are learning from home, they can go on by and pick up their books curbside and have them right there at their disposal. Okay. I'm just going to hang out for a minute. If you think of anything else you'd like to know or any questions that are out there. So glad to have all of you here today. And thank you, Chris, for adding to our discussion. Minerva and Jackie, great to have you. And please don't ever hesitate not only to reach out to our campus librarian, but myself as well, if you have anything we can help you with at any time.
Amy, do you mind resharing the the presentation? Because I think it might have gone to just panelists. I
Oh,
didn't
you
see it
bet.
in my chat. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let me copy that right now. And I'm going to go back. I'm copying the link and I'm going to go put it in our chat. Oh, let me make sure it's going to all panelists and attendees. Thank you for saying that, Jackie.
Sure.
Okay. Hopefully.
Yes, I see it. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes. It's nice to be able to go back and click on some of those things and just have the resources as well. Jackie, I would say, going back at like slide number 3, I think that just kind of showed you a breakdown of the databases and what they offer is really helpful. And I think sometimes our students just finding, because we don't want them out there searching, especially depending on their age and grade level, just searching Google. So when we have images and things that are available that they can safely search and they have permission to use, we need to teach them how to access those and make sure that they're utilizing those resources.
And it also helps to know that all of a good many of these resources will be the same ones used at colleges and universities and junior colleges. So a skill that they build using these databases will serve them well when they go on to go to school or get an additional certification. All of this is good information to build on.
Excellent point, Diane. All right, I'm going to stop recording now, but let's just stay on.